Hey guys, what is going on? Narcissus here from RLP Gaming Projects. Coming to today, we're going to be looking at Final Fantasy 16's webpage. It just dropped yesterday, October 29th, 2020, and there's a lot of good stuff on here. I wanted to review it with you guys. Starting off here, I love the art. Just at the beginning of the page, you come into it. It's just captivating. It really captures you, it draws you in, it's interesting, it makes you want to continue. I love it. Final Fantasy 16. The legacy of the crystals have shaped our history for long enough. Alright, well, let's continue down. And then they have a trailer, it says Awakening. I guess this is probably the trailer that we saw at the PlayStation event a few months ago. Let's check it out real quick though. 14, it's just like, oh, okay. It's just another expansion pack, you know, it's nothing important. Turned away, and then later to find out, you know, the internet's blown up, Final Fantasy 16 dropped, you know. I'll talk about the trailer a little bit more. I want to do another video called Final Fantasy in Review for 2020, and I'll be talking about Final Fantasy 16 more, or the trailer more in that. Alright, the world. Let's look at the details. Let's explore Final Fantasy 16's world. Alright, come on. Alright. I'm gonna butcher these names, you know, don't kill me over it. But Valisthea, a land blessed in the light of the mother crystals. The land of Valisthea is studded with mother crystals, glittering mountains of crystals that tower over the realms around them, blessing them with aether. For generations, people have flocked to these beacons to take advantage of their blessings, using ether to conjure magics that let them live lives of comfort and plenty. Great powers have grown up around each mother crystal, and an uneasy peace has long reigned between them. Yet now the peace falters as the spread of the blight threatens to destroy their dominions. Well, the blight kind of sounds like, you know, the scourge in Final Fantasy 15. Ekians and their dominance. The Ekians are the most powerful and deadly creatures in Valisthea. Each resides within a dominant, a single man or woman who is blessed with the ability to call upon their dread power. In some nations, these dominants are treated as royalty in admiration of this strength. In others, they are bound in fear of it, and forced to serve as weapons of war. Those who are born as dominants cannot escape their fate, however cruel it may be. I always hate that you can't escape your fate. I don't like things that are set in stone, you know. The realms of Valisthea. The Grand Duchy of Rosaria. Long ago, a group of small independent provinces in the western Valisthea found strength and unity and formed the Grand Duchy of Rosaria. After years of relative prosperity, the duchy now finds itself threatened by the spread of the Blight, a threat that, left unchecked, would doubtlessly usher the realm of ruin. Rosaria draws its ether from Drake's Breath, a mother crystal situated on a volcanic island off the coast. The dominant of the Phoenix, Ekin of Fire, is enthroned as Archduke when they come of age. And these names are super weird. The Holy Empire of Sanbrook is the largest theocratic force in Valisthea. The Empire's holy capital, Oriflame, is built around Drake's head, the mother crystal that blesses the surrounding provinces with abundant ether. The people happily take advantage of this, living in comfort and security under the watchful gaze of the Holy Empire, or the Emperor, whom they worship as a living incarnation of the one true deity. The dominant of... Why won't it show me? The dominant of blank serves as the Empire's champion, taking to the field in times of war to rout its enemies. Interesting. Is it not wanting us to know? Or is it blocking it out for us? Interesting. Okay. Here's another weird name. The Kingdom of Wallowed. I want to say Wallowed. The Kingdom of Wallowed. swallowed claims the entirety of Ash, the eastern half of Valisthea, as its dominion. The kingdom's control of the continent has oft been tested by the orcs and other beastmen who make their home there, but the current ruler of the realm, Dominant of Blank, has succeeded in quelling their rebellions. Using the power of the kingdom's mother crystal, Drake's Spine, this new king has built a mighty army with which he now seeks to test the borders of his neighbors. Interesting. Alright, well I'll go ahead and read them. There's only 3 left. It's just these names. I don't even know how to say that word. Republic. Dalmekian? The Helmekian Republic is made up of 5 states from which the members of its ruling parliament are drawn. Its mother crystal, Drake's Fang, is half hidden in the heart of a mountain range. The Republic's control over it and its ether securing the obedience of a large part of the southern Valisthea. The Dominant of Titan, Ikion of Earth, God, I hope I'm saying that right, is installed as a special advisor to Parliament and has a significant say in its decision making. The Iron Kingdom, a word I can say. A small group of islands off the coast of Storm, the western half of Valisthea's twin realms. Here, the crystalline orthodox and an extreme faith that worships crystals reigns supreme. The Iron Kingdom controls Drake's Breath, the mother crystal that sits at the heart of one of their islands, long a source of contention with neighboring Rosaria. Isolated and aloof from the mainland nations, the Ironblood speak their own language. Orthodox doctrine judges the dominants to be unholy abominations, and are unlucky enough to be born on the island are executed. God dang. It's harsh. The Crystalline Dominion. The Crystalline Dominion sits at the heart of Valisthea. Built around the tallest of all the mother crystals, Drake's Tail. Many bloody battles were fought for control on this small plot of land due to its strategic importance, till the warring realms finally agreed to an armistice. As part of the peace treaty, the islands around Drake's Tail become an autonomous dominion led by a council of representatives from the surrounding nations, each realm enjoying equal claim to the Mother Crystal's blessings. No dominant makes their home there. Fascinating. So, you know, you have good and bad, and in the middle, some religious fanatics who execute people who they find to be evil. Crazy. It sounds like there's all kinds of characters and things to know in different places in this game. The characters. Now that's something I really want to know about. I'm very interested in the characters. Alright. Clive Rossfield, the firstborn son of the Archduke of Rosaria. I forgot which one Rosaria was. Open link, new tab. Though all expect him to inherit the Phoenix Flames and awaken as its dominant, Destiny instead chose his younger brother Joshua to bear this burden. So that's interesting. So the main character isn't really like the all-powerful, you know, Phoenix like maybe we thought he'd be. Now, Rosaria. Right there. The Grand Duchy. Okay, so the dominant of the Phoenix is enthroned as Archduke. So they're made into kings. The dominants. Alright, in search of a role of his own, Clive dedicated himself to mastering the blade. His practice pays off when, at just 15 years of age, he wins the ducal tournament and is dubbed the first shield of Rosaria, tasked to guard the Phoenix and blessed with the ability to wield a part of his fire. Alas, Clive's promising career is to end in tragedy at the hands of a mysterious dark Aeacan Ifrit, setting him on a dangerous road to revenge. Interesting. So this will be us. This will be the main character. I really like him. I think he looks pretty cool. I was afraid that it was going to be Joshua, and I didn't really want to play as a young kid as a main character. Especially being a mature rated game like this, it's probably more focused on adults, and I don't think a lot of adults would have enjoyed playing as a child. Anyway, so nothing against children, of course. Joshua Rossfield. The second born of the Archduke of Rosaria and Clive's younger brother by 5 years. So it doesn't really say his age, it just says at the age of 15 he won a tournament and he became the first shield of Rosaria and he would protect his brother. So it doesn't really give us an age. I'm going to say he's probably 10 to 12 years old. Anyways, Joshua awoke as the dominant of the Phoenix soon after his birth. Despite his noble upbringing, Joshua treats all his father's subjects with warmth and affection, none more so than Clive, whom he deeply admires. Joshua often laments that it was he, the frail and bookish younger son, who was granted command of the Firebird's flames and not his stronger, braver brother. While Clive will gladly throw himself into any danger, Joshua quails at the sight of a carrot on his dinner plate. But carrots become the least of his concern when he too is swept up into the tragic events that change Clive's life forever. So I wonder, does Joshua die? Or is it just the kingdom falls, it comes under attack, maybe their father dies? Very interesting. Jill Warwick. Born in the fallen Northern Territories, Jill was taken from her home at a tender age to become a ward of Rosaria, securing peace between the two warring nations. The Archduke insisted that she be raised alongside his sons, and now at 12 years of age she is as much a part of the Rosefield household as Clive and Joshua. She doesn't look 12, but I mean that's cool. She looks much older. The face, you know. Ever kind, gracious, and unassuming, Jill has become a trusted confidant to the brothers. So we got 3 characters. Interesting. So we will be in the kingdom of Rosaria, or the Grand Duchy. I guess I'm saying that right. Duchy? Douchey? I don't know, dude. Don't know. Alright, let's go back though. So Clive Rossfield, Joshua, and then the girl, I already forgot her name. A message from the developers. Final Fantasy 16 producer, that's right, just producer, Naoki Yoshida here. How did you enjoy the trailer? The exclusive footage comprised of both battles and cutscenes running in real time represent but a fraction of what our team has accomplished since the start of development on this, an all-new Final Fantasy game. In the span, the team's size has grown from a handful of core members to a full-fledged unit that continues to polish and build upon what they have created so far, all to provide players an experience unmatched in terms of story and gameplay, and that is really exciting. I mean, the graphics look fantastic. I'm not upset that they are looking like Final Fantasy XIV. All I was saying earlier is that I was confused because it looked so much like Final Fantasy XIV. But I mean, Final Fantasy XIV is like the most popular Final Fantasy to come out in over a decade, you know. A lot of people did not like Final Fantasy XIII. I'm in between on 13, you know. I liked it, okay, but it just didn't feel like a true Final Fantasy game. It was very pretty, though. It was one of the most beautiful games I ever did play. And then you have Final Fantasy 15, which is just mostly just not enjoyed by anybody. I loved it though. I don't understand the hate for Final Fantasy 15. I truly love the exploration in the game. I loved the characters. I loved going around. It was just like 4 friends driving around, going on an adventure together. It reminded me of like back in high school when I'd go around with my friends. So, but anyways, people have just not been happy with the Final Fantasy franchise for over a decade now. And then we have Final Fantasy 16, you know, and it's we have a producer, Naoki Yoshida. He is the director of Final Fantasy 14. So a lot of people are really hyped and excited over that, which is it is really cool and it is exciting, and I'm super excited. I've played Final Fantasy 14 a little bit. It's pretty cool. I'm not too big in MMOs, you know. I'm kind of I like to play by myself, you know. When I sit down to play a video game, I want to be by myself. I want to sit down and do it alone. But it is fun. It was fun, and I did play it by myself and did okay and was able to experience the story. Anyways, our next big information reveal is scheduled for 2021, so in the meantime, I expect everyone to have fun speculating as we have a lot in store, not only for the newest entry in the series, Final Fantasy 16, but for Final Fantasy 14 too. Needless to say, I'll be working hard on both. Alright. Now here's the director, Hiroshi Takai. I guess that's how you pronounce that. I don't know a lot about him. Maybe he's going to give us a little bit of background here in his little statement, so let's read it and figure it out. When Final Fantasy 1 was released, I was just another player, a young student with big dreams. By the time Final Fantasy 5 was in the works, I had earned myself a seat at the developer's table, albeit at the very end. From there, I moved online, leaving my mark on both Final Fantasy 11 and 14, and now 16. And now 16. From the establishment of an all-new development environment to learning the ins and outs of the PS5, the team and I have taken upon countless challenges during our journey to bring you the 16th chapter in the storied Final Fantasy franchise. And though we're pouring our hearts and souls into the project each and every day, it may still be some time before we can get it into your hands. However, I promise the wait will be worth it. Director Hiroshi Takai. I'm going to look him up really quick. Very curious about him. Let's see. So it looks like Hiroshi Takai, he was a big part of Romancing Saga. Now, I played Romancing Saga. I think it was number 2 or 3 I played. I played it on the Switch. I won't lie, guys. I wasn't a huge fan of Romancing Saga. It just didn't. I didn't like how it didn't give you any direction, you know, where to go on what to do. I would much rather, you know, it's a little disappointing to see that he comes from Romancing Saga, but he also comes from Final Fantasy 14, and I have played Final Fantasy 14, and I did enjoy Final Fantasy 14. The story is very solid in that game. It's good. The gameplay was fun. It's very good. I like seeing new people being thrown out and given their own, you know, power to create something like this. And you know, he's been with Square Enix, it looks like, for over 30 years. So, you know, he's got the experience, he has the know-how to do this. So I'm curious, I'm on board. I'm not disappointed that he's the director. I'm disappointed that he comes from Romancing Saga. And you know, I've only played one Romancing Saga game, so it could be a much better series than what I'm really giving it credit for. But you know, I digress. You know, I don't know. But guys, I think at that, I'm going to leave it. I love the new Final Fantasy 16 website. I think they did a really outstanding, fantastic job. I love how they're in contact with the players, with the fans, you know. They're keeping us up to date. And they say it could, you know, it'll be some time before it gets into our hands, but you know, I'm okay with that. They've shown us a lot of information. We have a lot to be excited for. So Final Fantasy 16, I can't wait. Please, you know, come as quickly as you can, but come finished, you know, where a lot of people said Final Fantasy 15 wasn't. So come finished, come full, you know, blazing in, really blow our minds, really impress people, because I kind of tired of hearing everyone rant about Final Fantasy and how Square Enix is disappointing. You know, I like Square Enix. I think they do a good job, mostly, you know. I think they do have some cash grab gimmicks that go on a little bit, and they're definitely, you know, they're a business, you know, and that's how they operate as a business. But I do think they listen to fans, and I really appreciate that out of a company, you know. But anyways, guys, that's going to end this video. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, blah, 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 you know, just do whatever you want. It'd be cool if you would, though. Sorry guys, I had to do an ending clip because the audio in that video, it just got corrupted. I don't even know what happened. I apologize for that. Hopefully the quality of the video is still pretty good, where you guys can get, you know, the gist of what the Final Fantasy 16 webpage is all about. But guys, you know, comment, like, subscribe, blah, 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 all that nonsense, like I said before. You know, just do what you want. If you want to subscribe. You want to comment. Do what you want. You know, I like you guys commenting. I like you guys interacting with me. I love to talk video games. So like I said in my other video, you know, let's talk. But guys, until the next project, take it easy. I'm out.